Well, this is Baruch here. I'm at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel, and we're going to look over here once again at the Ultimate Connection with God by Rabbi Yosef Chaim Mimran. Now, Rabbi Mimran has been talking about things that I try. I don't know if you try these things. But first of all, it really helps to have an understanding of what Yud-Kei Vav-Kei is going along and learn the Zohar and learn other things that really give you some background on this. But at the same time, we can all learn whether we're Jewish or not. We can also learn to understand what's going on inside of our minds. What's going on inside of our minds is usually a war. The different arguments that we go through all day long, they're defensive arguments. So here is somebody coming over and telling you that you can get beyond that. And he's telling us what it is, that we can become an observer of our thoughts, and it moves us to a higher realm of consciousness. Very difficult to achieve, and I try and I struggle with it. So now we're going to get into more practical ideas. He calls this the experience, and he talked about the concentration, the combination of the mind, the ultimate mind, and our mind. How's that possible? So let's see if we can learn this. There's some amazing things that he says in this section. He said, as the human mind merges with the human spirit, we become unfettered by the rigid, constrictive limitations of the physical universe and the forces of din permeating it. Now understand, din means the arguments. Inside of your head is an argument that is continually going on. And you could apply that argument to your wife or your kids or to your business apartments. It just is always going on inside of your head, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. There are many times the same argument over and over again. That's the din, the punishment that's you're punishing yourself. So he says, as the mind expands into the realm of spirit, on the other hand, our consciousness attains access to numerous dimensional planes above our own. Thus, when we perform a meditative visualization technique, it has repercussions far beyond the confines of our limited physical space. Therefore, as it is below, so it is above. What we think about or meditate upon here below manifests above. And he's saying here that there's a continuum between this world and the next. We are stuck in this world. Our feet are, so to speak, on the ground. And that's where we're at. So what's ever happening on this globe, which is turning constantly in relationship to everything else around it, we're stuck on it. But it is possible for us to reach beyond the physicality of that which surrounds us. Our sages teach us that everything is to be found in the Torah. Our sages also teach us that the entire Torah is the name of Hashem. The holy Mekubalim have already understood the meaning of this. Using techniques passed down to them from the biblical prophets, received by them from Moshe Rabbeinu himself, our holy Mekubalim have learned how to draw from our holy Torah divine powers when intertwining and combining its letters. Now, let's just understand this. He just said something specific. He says that you could take the letters of the Torah, they're written in Hebrew, to understand that in order to be able to really do this, you really have to have a grip on that language. So he says you can take and combine letters. These letter combinations are what referred to as the Shemus HaKadoshim, the holy names of God. He says, understand well the 22 letters of the Hebrew language and their correlations to time, space, soul, and consciousness. Now, the first thing that gets me here is time. What do letters have to do with time? Space, well, they take up space. The letters that said they hold the light of Hashem. And then also they have to do with our consciousness. These are two parts I don't understand, but let's see, he said them. Our great sages have taught us in their infinite wisdom that the entire Torah is one long name of God. In other words, it's the actual name of infinity. And that every verse also contains a smaller version of that powerful name. Our sages have also taught us, in other words, the versions actually are doorways. which allow us to be able to enter into the realm of Torah. They enter into the realm of the name of God. Our sages have also taught us that Hashem looked into the Torah, pronounced some of its letters, and created the world. As if it was possible to say that Hashem could pronounce, or looks, or has eyes, but metaphorically. As you recite the Torah and thereby the holy names of the Creator, you actively become a partner in creation. Now, this is a way to look at Torah, look at prayer, in a way, it's really, I find it very profound. The specific combination of letters forms the specific molecular structure of the things. It is with this that you make contact. Now, again, we have to understand what he's saying here. We live in a world, it seems to me, which is so physical and has so little space for spirituality. So he says the specific combinations of letters form specific molecular structure of things. So letters actually compose physicality. It's composed of letters. It could be really very small. It is with this that you make contact. So what does it mean? What does this mean? What it means that you are in touch with the underlying forces that creates the fabric of everything in our space-time universe. Now, our universe, I have a drush that I make on the concept of space-time. Now, not space so much, but time. Time is really the punishment that was received, in my opinion, by Adam Rishon, because we all have limited lives. Adam Rishon was not corporeal like we are, not to begin with. But his punishment was that he would not live forever. He would not be corporeal. He would have to become corporeal. This causes what space is. We have to be in a particular place. Like I said before, we have our feet stuck on the ground. But it also causes time, because we have only so much time to live in this world. So he says, through the letters of the holy names, you can, in essence, reprogram the molecular structure of any form of matter. Now, this is a very, very deep idea. By understanding the letters of something, you could be able to reform them by changing the combination of the letters. Now, that's what he says. Indeed, this is the secret to how some of our sages created small calves on Erev Shabbos, using the Sefer Yetzirah to have meat for their meals. As well, Rabbi Zulai, the great-grandfather of the Chidah, writes how he was successful in creating a golem, an artificial human with artificial intelligence, by the same manner, therefore, manipulating the letters of the Holy Torah. Now, he said, this is how this famous saving. You know the word Abra Kadabra? So Abra Kadabra, he says, I create as I speak. Abra, which is the word bore to gracious, like to create. Kadabra, as I speak them. I create as I speak. That's how this came about. In light of all this mysticism, we now understand very well why the words we speak have tremendous power. Abra Kadabra means as I speak them. They actually are having a power. And it comes out to be as I speak them. Now, according to the Sefer Yetzirah, the power of the human mind, when focused properly through specific combinations of letters of the Torah, can actually manifest the ability to influence and sometimes change physically reality in time and space. Remember that we're bound here. That's space. We're on this planet. We're in my particular case, I'm in South Florida. But I've been in other places, lots of other places. They're all the same characteristics. That your feet are stuck on the ground. The ground might look different. The air may be a little bit different. The underlying spiritual technology of this mind power and focused by the Torah is the source of the miracles often found in the Tanakh, Talmud, and other later Torah literature. Let's stop right here. This is going to be our lecture, and we try to I hope that, that everything will go well, and we'll be able to get back to this, God willing, tomorrow.